Hi, and welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint here on Bot Radio Network, where we're on location. Excited to be coming to you from Coffee Central here in DeSoto County in Southaven. We've got two locations for Coffee Central where they're bringing coffee and community together. They're a full-service coffee house with the two DeSoto County locations. Of course, the one where we are right now is in Southaven, 5627 Getwell Road. Also, Hernando at 39 West Commerce. Full coffee house menu with a selection of nice comfort foods, too. I saw these little egg sandwiches in the cooler there. They look pretty good with bacon and cheese. I'm telling you, might have to grab that. And sausage balls. Now, I thought sausage balls was something you make at the holiday times at home, but not at Coffee Central. You can pick up some sausage balls and other nice goodies while you're here, so I hope you'll stop by and enjoy that. And we're just having fun meeting different folks in the community who have a gospel impact in the community, and God's using it in some tremendous ways. And so right now we welcome to the microphones, if my notes will come back on the screen, we've got Pam Pegram, Kim Ball, and Gwen Neal. These ladies make up of a team that's called Engage for More. Hi, and welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
I kind of feel intimidated because you guys are like professional podcasters, right? Y'all have a podcast that you do.
Yes.
We do.
Engage
Yes.
for more.
Engage for More. And so I'm excited to learn your journey and story. First of all, I mean, how did you guys get together? What was the connecting point, and how long have y'all known each other?
Well, we got together through Tina Tatum. We're all a part of Gather, so that was the connecting point there. We've been together 8 years now.
Yes.
Think so. I think
8
we're going
years.
on year 9.
I
About to
know.
start year 9.
Now,
Yes.
was it Pam and Kim both co-founded Gather? Is that right? Am I saying that wrong?
It was myself, Pam, Gwen, and Tina. We
All
all four
four of you
us.
guys did.
Yes.
Oh,
We sure
sorry.
did.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Gather Women is a nonprofit where we gather women who are passionate about their relationship with Jesus and passionate about their relationship with one another. So that was really God laid on Tina Tatum's heart. And so she, through just listening to the Holy Spirit, she felt led to include us and invite us. And it's been a fun journey.
It has.
And so after we did Gather, maybe 2 or 3 years, 4 years or so, God began to speak to us, and we knew there was a next step
Right.
that was to be birthed out of Gather. And that is just through prayer and through God's leading. That's how we came to start Engage for More.
So what was it that you felt like God was leading you to? I mean, what was going on in your life personally,
A lot.
A lot.
Well, we all have a common passion for women
Yes.
and women seeking Jesus. And we constantly see women who are just going through the routine of religion and not the relationship. And so we are passionate about the more that Jesus came to offer us. And so we wanted to do more just everyday type things. Gather is just once a year, and we do quarterly events, but this is just more of engaging Jesus daily and what that looks like in our daily lives. And so that's how we started Engage for More.
Okay.
Yes.
So share a little about your backstories. Gwen, where was home life for you?
So I was a professor at Arkansas State University when we first came together.
Let's go back even further.
Oh, my
Childhood.
word.
Where did you grow up?
Kankakee, Illinois.
Say that again.
Kankakee, Illinois. It's about 55 miles south of Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And I was raised there, grew up, graduated high school there. From there, Arkansas State University for my undergrad and master's. Met a tutorer who turned into my superhero and my husband.
I like what you said. I've never heard of that town in Illinois before.
Yeah, Kankakee. So
Kankakee.
Native American.
It sounds like a little Mayberry town.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it was at the time.
Right.
At the time, yes.
Okay.
So just having that entire background, being raised in the church, my dad was a pastor, then getting away from the church during my college years,
Right.
and after marriage and children, finding my way back to the truth.
Was there a specific circumstance or thing that happened in your life that brought you back?
And after I got married and I was pregnant with our first, Kimberly,
Hmm.
and I wanted her raised in the same type of atmosphere, that being godly, a godly home that
Yeah.
I was raised in. And I knew
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
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 How about for you, Pam? Tell me about growing up, when your early days and some of the childhood memories.
So I grew up right here in Southaven, Mississippi.
Yes.
Yeah, so this
Oh,
is
yeah.
where I was raised, graduated from Southaven High School, and I was raised by incredible Christian parents, and my mom was always a Sunday school teacher. My dad was always a deacon, and so I grew up in the church and loved the Lord and accepted Him as my Savior as a child, and have never doubted that ever. But as I grew up and got married young and had children, and I found myself going through my second divorce. And, I was a good Christian girl. That was not supposed to happen to me, right? And in my desperation, during that time, I fell flat on my face just before the Lord. And right before it happened, I had it all. I was very successful. I had built this incredible business, and it was with a direct sales company, but God had taught me so much and grown me so much and had me not only become a leader, but learn how to develop leaders, and everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, my world fell apart. And it was during that time that I realized that Jesus was my Savior, but He was not my Lord.
Yeah.
I was the Lord of my life.
Wow.
And I really surrendered everything to Him. And He brought me out of that time and as a totally different person. And so while I say it's the hardest time of my life, it's the most precious time of my
Yeah.
life. Because it's when I learned how to walk with Him
Yes.
and how to talk with Him. And I became very burdened that there were so many people just like me.
Right.
Just like me. They had no idea how to make Him Lord and how to surrender.
Yes.
And so came super passionate about helping others learn how to do that.
Isn't that so beautiful when you discover that this relationship, and it is a relationship with Jesus, who wants to walk with you through
For
these
sure.
places in
Yes.
life where you're dealing with, and if you kind of open the door and, like you said, surrender to that,
Yes.
and how the perspective changes,
It does.
that's beautiful.
Changes everything.
Kim, how about for you?
Well, I grew up in Germantown, so not far from here, and I grew up in the church. I was saved when I was in 6th grade, and just like Gwen's story, I fell away from the faith late in high school into college and started living for a party of one, which was myself, and making poor decisions and not living out my faith. And post graduating from college, I came back to Memphis and rented a house with a friend, and was introduced on a blind date to my husband. And he was really a catalyst for bringing me back around to Christ, because I thought I was looking for the life of the party. And he so eloquently told me that if I was looking for the life of the party, that he was not the one.
Well, we
And
need men like that
I
today,
know,
right, ladies?
That's right.
Yes, we really
and
do.
I do.
yeah.
Yes.
He was really instrumental
Yeah.
in pulling me back into the faith. And we eventually married and moved a couple of times, but landed here in Southaven, Olive Branch, really more specifically. And I went to work at our church, and it's been 11 years ago. And I was working in children's ministry and developed a passion for the women who were coming and bringing their children and the volunteers.
Yes.
And seeing that people were just coming and volunteering and not living out their passion and the relationship with Christ. So I felt called to start women's ministry. We did not have a women's ministry at our church. And so 8 years ago, God led me to start women's ministry at our church, Get Well Church in Southaven. So
I just love the story here, the thread between your lives, and really how
Yes.
God brought you together for this purpose of helping encourage women in their walk with Christ.
Yes.
Mentoring, teaching, building up women in the faith. How can women deepen their spiritual engagement in just everyday life? And as a mom, trying to keep up with kids' games and practices and just life and home and all the things that happen. I mean, sometimes it seems impossible, but I know there's a way. Okay, how do you encourage women to do that?
By developing relationship with Jesus. That has to be the foundation, and it has to be non-negotiable.
Right.
Where you just say, okay, Just like I have to go to my child's game, I have to cook dinner, I have to be supportive of my husband, I must develop one-on-one time with Jesus. And when we make that sacrifice initially, it sets the tone for paying bills, going out with girlfriends, shopping, being with your husband. When we put Jesus first, he opens the door and makes a way for us to have engaging, meaningful relationships with everyone else.
Wow.
Right.
Well,
Bam.
Bam.
Yeah, bam.
Well said. Anything
Yes.
you ladies want to add to that?
Well, I just think that we're coming upon a new year, and we're thinking about setting priorities, setting our goals, and you have to make. We just finished a podcast on this just this week about setting priorities, and God has to be our priority.
Yes.
And that's just what you said. But as we're thinking about a new year, is God your priority? Because
Yeah.
if He's not, then everything else will not fall into place.
That's right.
And it's such a struggle. We find that we have made excuses, right? And so other women, too, are making excuses. Like they have all these things, and these are the reasons why I can't spend time with the Lord. I can't put Him first. But and A.W. Tozer has a quote, it's my favorite quote, that says, when God is exalted to His proper place in our life, 1,000 problems are solved all at once. And so we think the problem is trying to put Him first. It's too hard, it's too much, I can't do it, I've got to do this and this and this. But all those things would fall away if we would just seek Him first.
Yeah.
Wow, Pam, I needed to hear that myself this morning. I really did. Thanks for sharing that. We all got to be reminded of that, right?
Yes,
we really do.
and I need to be, we remind each other. That's the thing that's so beautiful about community and why women need each other is that we do have to remind each other. We all look down every now and again, and somebody needs to be standing beside us and elbow us and say, look up, look up, God has you.
Let's go back to that, because I know Gwen brought that up about community a minute ago. What role does community play in fostering a deeper relationship with Christ? Because sometimes we get to a place where we feel like we're kind of isolated and we just want to live our life in seclusion. But as a Christian, we can't do that, right?
That's right.
Talk about that importance of community more.
The word tells us, forsake not the assembly of gathering together.
Right.
So that's number one. And if we take that literally, then that means I need to have moments where I'm in Sunday school, or I'm in small group, or I'm participating in a Bible study or a fellowship. And it's not just I'm at home. Since COVID, we've all gotten used to Zoom or doing a webinar, but we need to come back together in fellowship. And when we do that, we learn from one another.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think we can't do it without community, right?
Right.
There's so many times where we're lifting each other up, and I like to say to our women in our women's ministry, we're all just one broken person walking each other home. We're just holding hands, walking each other home. Yeah.
Yes. And it's so important that you share. I think that we all need community. And there's different levels of community. Of course, there are those that we worship with and we learn in, but then there are more intimate relationships that are so important. And, secrets make us sick. And so it's kind of an accountability thing, and it's a checks and measure for us because we want to honor God. And so if I'm telling my friend, these two, just the close, intimate people, everything, like, hey, I got a text from this guy. They're like, oh, no, you're not going to text him back. Like people pick up on those things, and it helps you to be who you want to be and walk the walk that you want to walk.
Yes. How can we navigate conflicts in relationship while maintaining that Christ-like attitude and that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, what God has taught me over a period of time is I don't have to, defend myself. I don't always have to have a response. And if He's my shield and my defense, then let Him be that. So a lot of times we want to take offense. We want to get our lick back. We want to show the other person that I know just as much as you do. And you can't talk to me that way. You can't treat me that way. Where does Jesus come in if we're acting just like them.
Yes.
And so, along with that, I love to talk about rights versus responsibilities. And so we think we have a lot of rights, like I deserve to be respected, I deserve to be heard, all those things. But as a believer, it's not about our rights, it's about our responsibilities as a daughter of the King. So I have a responsibility to love well, to offer grace. I have a responsibility to serve and to have honest conversation. I have a responsibility to tell the truth and to point people to Jesus. And so that should be our focus, and that is what should guide our behavior.
Yeah.
It's the responsibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What they said. Exactly. We just had a podcast on this not too long ago, too. So, and they both know that I am not a conflict. I don't love conflict.
I don't think anybody really does, right? So talk about our physical health reflection, our spiritual well-being. We know sometimes if we're physically run down, we're tired,
Yes.
we're not eating properly, that can play a role into our lives, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our bodies are His temple. And so we have to keep them healthy and we have to keep them well maintained, right? And so the sleep that we get, all of those things need to be priorities on our life as well. So we have to treat this as we treat his church. We're His walking church.
Yes.
And so we have to maintain our physical health as well. Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Ministry. Go ahead.
Well, it's just so true. I mean, we just had Thanksgiving, and I ate bad all through Thanksgiving. I've been eating good and trying to think, I'm going to eat what God made. And so eating whole foods and things like that. And I was feeling so good. And then Thanksgiving came and I ate bad. I'm like, my knees hurt.
Yes.
My foot is killing
true.
me. Like the joint in my foot and like just little things like that. And so I stopped it and started eating good again. And I feel so much better. And so God's way really is best, and we try to shy away from His way in every area of our life. Like we think, I want this stuff. I'm going to shop. Or we think, that looks yummy. I'm going to eat it. Or, and like we get out of kilter, get Him out of the center of any area of our life.
Yeah.
And we just don't feel as good. We just don't look as good. I mean, even when I was eating bad, I'm like, I can see more wrinkles, like, I've got to stop drinking Diet Coke because it makes my wrinkles show up.
Oh, don't tell me that.
And and the other side of that is ministry. We've been called, we're chosen, we're all serving, but we're not supposed to run ourselves in the ground during ministry.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a time, Jesus stole away every day.
Yes.
Every day to reset. Because if we're always pouring out and giving and running and doing, when are we being replenished? So there are times when we really need to steal away. You need that vacation. You need that mental health day.
Yes.
You need that time. Like my hands are hidden because my nails are atrocious. I need to go sit in somebody's chair and be pampered.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. What about helping women manage their emotions in a way that aligns with their faith?
That's so good.
Is that tough?
Yes.
I mean, that's tough for all of us. It's not just women, right?
Right.
Men face the same thing.
Yes.
Things we're talking about, although it's focused on women, men also have to deal with these things too.
Yes, and we were just talking recently because we're all coaches and we work with women individually, and we were just talking about how it's really hard to be spiritually mature when you're emotionally immature. That's a challenge, and it's in direct conflict with one another. And so sometimes before we can grow spiritually, we have to start growing up a little bit emotionally,
Right.
And so it really does make a huge difference in our daily walk.
Yeah. And I think that we are called to be examples. And
Yes.
so when we are emotionally not mature and we may outburst or bite back and all of those things, people are looking. No matter what. If we don't think people are looking. And it's not just us. People are looking at whoever's listening today. Someone is looking at you and seeing how you respond.
Yeah.
You're a direct reflection of Christ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So you do need to be not only spiritually mature, but emotionally mature as well.
Yes.
Do you have some scripture references that you lean on that help you dealing with emotional struggles and help other women deal with emotional struggles? Some particular-
Greater is He that is in me than he that is in that other person. I can do all things through
Yes.
him. I can be kind when I don't want to.
Yeah.
Daily, I crucify my
Yes.
flesh.
Yes.
Daily.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
has to be, because I'm that woman who's very emotional. I'm happy, I'm all in, or if I'm upset, I'm all down. And what God has taught me through His Word and through my sweet sisters here is that He's consistent
Yes.
and literally crucifying the flesh. Gwen, you're no longer in control,
Yeah.
so you can't clap back.
Yeah.
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 Because I've been that person who's gone toe to toe.
Yes. You know, this time of the year, as we move into Christmas and thinking about gift buying, can create a lot of stress
Yes.
on families right now, especially financially.
And I have 10 grandchildren.
You got 10
So,
boy. You
yes.
got, you got a lot
I
of
told
money.
my husband, I need some money. Can I have some money? I'm going shopping. And he gave me just a little. I'm like, we have 10 grandchildren.
Yeah, the cost of things. So, what advice do you have for women facing financial stresses and balancing it while trying to seek peace with their faith too? Because, you know, sometimes you got to realize, you know, there's only so much budget, and when you face holiday times, you want to be giving, you want to give to the kids, the grandkids, and sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is good. Yeah.
That's so good. I think we just have to focus on what's important, and more important than me buying my grandchildren gifts that they love, their favorite thing, and me being like, oh, Mimi bought me this. More important than that is for them to have a relationship with Jesus, and He is the reason for the season, and He is the one that we are celebrating. What He, it was His birth. It was because of the cradle that we have the cross, right?
Yeah.
And so without the cradle, then He would not have paid the price for our sins, and so we need to be celebrating Jesus now.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes when we are over shopping and over giving and over decorating and over cooking and serving and all that, we're trying to fill a need that only Jesus can fill. Like nothing is going to give us what we need except for Him.
Yeah. Is it kind of like Martha and Mary?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
that kind of story
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And was it that Mary was the one that stayed at the feet of
At the feet of
Jesus?
Jesus. And so Martha told on her and
Yeah.
said, Jesus,
And Martha was in the kitchen.
Mary needs to help me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So you guys have special traditions and things you like to bring into the family, you know, that you'd like to carry through, maybe things you passed on, you know, from your early days for celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, I think that one of the things, and going back to that financial stress, is, one of the things you can do is maybe instead of creating a time where you have to buy gifts for people, is just to maybe go and volunteer. And that's one thing that we've done as a family. Either it's
Right.
not always been Thanksgiving, maybe Thanksgiving or Christmas or what, is just go and serve others. And we always say it on Engage for More, is when we turn our eyeballs outward instead of inward, it just allows for so many things.
Yes,
And
yes.
so when you teach your children not to always think about the world's economy and all that we can get for ourselves, but to give to others,
Right.
I would say that that's definitely a tradition we're starting if you
Okay.
don't have that.
Yeah.
And we've done that for years. The four of us, Gerald and our two adult children now, every holiday or Christmas, we go out and deliver meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I
So
love that.
we have on our Santa hats, and it's fun. And to address the shopping, because as women, we're nurturers. We want to provide and give. And our listeners from Engage for More know this about me. Jesus is my best shopping partner. He shows me where the deals are, what to get, where things are hidden. And so if you have that relationship with him and you really invite him into every area of your life, he's going to be there.
Okay. I love that. That's good. That's
Yes.
good.
So good.
Okay, so what does being involved with Engage for More look like? I mean, how do you guys meet weekly, monthly? I mean, tell me what it is that you guys do to help women grow in their faith? And when do you meet, or how do you do it?
Well, we have a podcast that drops every Monday, and we actually, it's crazy. We didn't know what would happen when we started, but we just recorded, episode number 161, I think. And
Nice.
so we've been here for a minute,
Yeah.
and people are listening from all over, and that blows our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're thankful for that. And so we try to interact with people that way, and of course through email and social media and those things. And then we're also all coaches. And so we're developing courses. We actually have some available now that ladies can partake in. We have some master classes that they can purchase and watch and work through the workbooks on their own that help them in different areas. And then we also do group coaching and one-to-one coaching. And it's been fun because God has really given each of us kind of a different niche or a different, who we
Yeah.
work with. And so that's been fun
Yeah.
to watch that happen, that we're all the same, yet different. And so we help ladies when they reach out to us and say, okay, I think I really need a coach to walk with me. We can pretty much tell her who she should work with
Okay.
because of the difference in us,
So it's not one size fits all.
No,
No.
Right. Yeah, we know who would be best. If somebody reaches out to us, we'll recommend, somebody else, or maybe it is us. But the one-on-one coaching is great, and the classes, and we've got some new ones coming up for January. So
That's
definitely
right.
want to go to engageformore.com and check that out as well.
Does that encourage you, ladies, when you're able to mentor these other women, maybe that are just struggling in some areas? How does that make you feel? You see that God's using you.
Oh,
Like a winner.
yes.
Victorious.
Yes.
Just
It's kind of like
thankful.
watching your children play sports. You know what I mean? Like if I go play softball, it's really fun if I hit a home run. But if one of my kids hit a home run, I'm going to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same way with coaching other women. When you watch them break free
Yeah.
from strongholds, or watch them move forward, or to identify what's holding them back, it's just, we love that. I mean, it's just, you just get to be a little bitty part of what God's doing in her life.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we're so
It's fun.
thankful to get to do
Yes.
this, that we get to do this alongside God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For you too, Gwen?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all about victorious living, stick with itness, just persevering through the hard times.
Yeah.
And so my area of specialty is helping women move forward, understanding that you're not supposed to be stuck. You have purpose, vision, passion. God has a plan for you, and it's not just mediocre. It's
Yeah.
powerful. And just because you've lost at love, you've lost, for me, my hair, that doesn't mean you stay there. It's time to move to the next level.
Oh, I love that. That's really good. Okay, Engage for More, as you mentioned, available weekly podcast. iTunes, Spotify, I'm assuming it's available everywhere it's
Everywhere.
available.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great resource. Give us the website.
EngageForMore.com.
That's easy.
Super easy,
Yeah.
yes.
Easy.
And we each have our own page too. So if you want to know more about us and what we each personally do, you can go to engagewithkim.com, engagewithpam.com, and engagewithgwen.
All right.
.com.
Well, let's remind our friends that we're coming to you from Coffee Central, where bringing coffee and community together is all about, right here at Coffee Central. We're at the Southaven location, 5627 Getwell Road. We found a nice corner to kind of gather in, put the microphones out, and just
great.
we got people
Yes.
walking around and drinking coffee. You might hear a coffee grinder from time or two. But ladies, God bless you. Merry Christmas to each of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you all
having
so much for
us.
stopping by.
Thank you for having
having
us.
us.
Well, friends, that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid-South Viewpoint here on Bot Radio Network. I'm Byron Tyler. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.